It seems like years ago, but really it was just a few weeks ago that my kids all picked some stocks to invest in. Now, obviously, with all that's going on in the world, all of these stocks are down a lot. But that's not what we're here to talk about. One of those stocks, though, has performed better than the others. It's down, but it's not nearly down as much as the others. So do you know who's winning? Let's see. And this is the winner right here, Sarah. She's 4, and she picked Costco, and that's the one that's been performing the best over the last couple of weeks. And if you've been reading the news at all, you know the lines at Costco are going crazy. People can't buy enough toilet paper. We'll see what their profit is, but right now their stock is down, but it's down the least out of Disney, Ferrari, and Apple, which was the other ones that we picked. But what does this mean? So Sarah basically picked a stock, we'll say at random, and that's the one that is performing better than all the other ones. In the long run, maybe the others will catch up and do better. But the point being is that picking a stock at random sometimes will perform better. And you don't know which one is going to win. And so in our case, we had 4 different stocks, and so we were protected somewhat by having Costco do better and perform a little bit better. But we need to get some diversification. Diversification just means spreading the investment around a lot of different places so that we're protected from any one of them doing really poorly. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. Hang on and let's take a look. Let's see how diversification has helped us in our portfolio. All right, John, so you can see right here, we have lost about $800 and we're down about 20% on our portfolio. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got the 4 stocks here you can see right here. Which one has performed the best?
Costco?
All right, Costco. So its best means it's down 3%. That's not great. That's bad. But hey, it's all relative here. So which one has performed the worst?
Disney?
All right, Disney right there is down 36%. So Costco is the best at 3%. But if we had put all our money on Disney, and Disney's a great company, they'll come back, but we would have lost 36%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. And then look at the other ones. Apple's down 21%, Ferrari's about 25%. And so when you look at our total, our portfolio performance is at minus 21. If you combine all of these percentages from 3 down to 36, the average is basically about 21%. And so even though Disney did really bad, Costco has done really well, and they've offset each other. And so this is just a simple example how diversification helps protect us from any one stock doing really badly and throwing off all of our returns. So next, we're going to take a look at how can we get more diversification in our portfolio when we start investing. So we've seen the power of diversification across 4 stocks, but what we really want is diversification across hundreds of stocks. But that could cost thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to buy enough stock to get that diversification. Well, that's where mutual funds come in. Mutual funds let us buy a small amount, as little as $10, and get diversification across hundreds of companies. Let's see how that works. Let's take a look at a mutual fund and see how it actually gives us the diversification that we know we need. All right, I've picked a mutual fund here. This fund is run by Schwab, and you can see the symbol here, SWPPX. Now, I'm not going to get into all the different numbers and all the different information here on this page about the stock. What I want to do is click over to the portfolio and see what is actually inside of this fund. So if we click on portfolio and scroll down to where it actually shows what this mutual fund holds in terms of stock investments. So let's see here. You can see this list, and this list here, you can see here it says portfolio date February 29th, 2020, equity holdings 505. So this mutual fund has 505 stocks that it's holding, 505 different companies that are being managed by this, controlled by this mutual fund. And you can see here in this list, right here, some of those companies, and they're ones that you've heard of. So Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. You go down the list here: AT&T, Visa, Bank of America. These are all major companies that you've heard of, and this is only some of the list. You can see here assets, right here, assets in the top 10 holdings. So the top 10 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So up to this line right there, that's 24% of the entire mutual fund, but there's 505 other stocks. And so when you buy a share in this mutual fund for, I think it's like $30 or something per share of this fund, that share actually represents ownership in these 505 different companies. So as a group, if those 505 go up, then the value of your mutual fund share goes up, or down. Then if these companies all go down, then the fund goes down. But again, if one of them has a problem, and the other 504 are doing well, then you're going to continue to do well, and you're protected against that. So this mutual fund, with one purchase, gives you diversification across over 500 different companies. And that's really the power of why we want to invest using mutual funds. And so now let's just talk about this and see how do we actually purchase a mutual fund. It's not that difficult, and let's take a look. All right, the last thing I want to do is show you how easy it is to get started and actually buy a mutual fund. So I've opened up my trading app here in eTrade. I've put in the symbol SWPPX, the Schwab S&P Index Fund. There is the net asset price. It's more or less the equivalent of the stock share price. But the good thing here is with a mutual fund, you don't have to buy a whole share. I can just choose to invest $10, and that's fine. It'll figure out what fraction of a share that gives me, and there's no problem with that. So I'll do that and go to the next page. Here again, the same thing, but I want to point out a couple things here. One is there's no transaction fee, there's no commission, nothing like that, because if I was only buying $10 and had a $5 commission, that's not going to work. So there's no fee here. The other thing is some mutual funds will have a minimum investment, like you have to start with $2,000 or $1,000. This particular fund, and one reason I wanted to use this as an example, has no minimum. So you can literally start with $10 and get started in a mutual fund, and that's it. I mean, that's awesome. And so I'll go to the next page, and I get this confirmation. Now, this warning here is just saying that a stock, normally when you buy and sell stocks, those are traded from 9 to 4 Eastern, and if you put it in order and it's fulfilled it gets fulfilled right as soon as it finds a buyer or a seller, and that's it. Mutual funds only are priced at the end of the trading day, and all the purchase and sales are made based on that price at the end of the day. And so in this case, it's just saying, even though I put in the order today and it's not during normal trading hours, the next trading day, at the end of that day is when when they'll give me a price for this purchase, make the purchase, and set it up in my account. That's all. So I hope you've seen how simple really it is to get started in a mutual fund. And again, the reason to invest in a mutual fund is for just like $10, we can get the benefit of diversification across hundreds of stocks, hundreds of companies. And you just can't beat that. That's all for now, and I'll see you next time.